And welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today we are continuing our ongoing coverage of the war between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. And specifically, over the last 24 hours, we have seen two waves of Russian missile attacks against targets inside of Ukraine. These are both against Ukrainian command and control, military targets, and Ukrainian infrastructure as well. In one of these attacks, unfortunately, we have seen one of these missiles. It is believed to be a Kh-22 anti-ship missile that has been repurposed to go after ground targets inside of Ukraine. This possible Kh-22 or Kh-32, we're not sure what it was yet, but it appears to have hit an apartment block in Dnipro, sets right up on the Dnieper River. And right now we've seen possibly well over 25 people killed in that unfortunate attack. So why are the Russians using these systems against targets in Ukraine? Well, they travel very fast. These Kh-22s, Kh-32s, these repurposed anti-ship weapon systems designed to get through very robust air defense networks, such as those deployed by the U.S. Navy, are also very well suited for going after heavily defended targets on the ground inside of Ukraine. And that's exactly why the Russians are using them. These are very large, multi-ton missiles that can travel very high, 80,000, 40,000 feet, but more importantly, it's how fast they travel, Mach 3, Mach 4, and it's very difficult for the Ukrainians to target these systems because of the speed at which they're traveling. They do have the ability to pick them up on radar, but targeting those systems before they impact, you quite literally just have a couple of minutes before these very, very fast weapon systems hit. And the Russians are also using semi-ballistic missiles as well in conjunction with those other systems. So that's why the Russians are using them. We're now going to go and we're going to see where this complex is, where Russia produces these weapon systems. It's produced by the Tactical Missiles Corporation, better known as Raduga, and it's located north of Moscow. So it would not surprise me if we were to see some sort of Ukrainian, at some point, some sort of counterattack by the Ukrainians directed at this site. And this could be perceived as a direct attack upon Moscow, depending if the Russians are able to intercept whatever systems the Ukrainians fire at possible targets. So we're going to go about 60 miles north by northwest of Moscow to the town of Dubna. And this is where many of the Russian missile systems are constructed by Russia. And it's a sprawling base in this town. And you can see, again, the size and scope of the Russian military-industrial complex. And what we'll do is we'll try to do a ground's eye view of this base. And we'll go right out to the front office. Isn't Google Earth amazing? And here we go. This is where many of the missile systems that are being deployed by the Ukrainians are manufactured. This site right here. And again, could this be a valid target in which the Ukrainians could try to attack? We know that the Ukrainians have hit hundreds of miles deep inside of Russia using cruise missile types of systems that have effectively hit targets, to include large air bases. Let's back out and see the other side of this very large, sprawling facility, which could at some point become a target of Ukrainian forces. We'll go back to the ground's eye view, and we'll kind of go to the northeast side of the sprawling complex, where you, the viewer, can see exactly. You can see a security personnel probably checking out the Google Earth vehicle, possibly years ago. And you can see this is a secured facility. And there it is. I imagine that says the Tactical Missile Corporation. And that's it. And behind these walls, in all likelihood, is where many of these missiles that have hit Ukraine are indeed produced. So again, just to give you, the viewer, again, an idea of the size and scope of Russian military manufacturing capability north of Moscow. I imagine there are significant air defense facilities that would prevent a direct attack against this crucial military infrastructure site. So I imagine we will see more and more of these strikes. We're usually seeing them now once a month. It is believed Russia is continuing to manufacture many different types of these missile systems to be used against Ukrainian targets. So just wanted to cover that today. Again, looking north by northwest of Moscow from the Ukrainian border area, let's say near Chernihiv, to that area is, we'll just do it in miles here, again, is 426 miles. So again, that's well within range of whatever systems the Ukrainians were using to target areas inside of Russia. There's also other areas as well, other targets of opportunity that we could see the Ukrainians attack and thus cause an escalation of the conflict. Now again, is it an escalation, or do the Ukrainians have a legitimate right to target some of those sites? Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, just wanted to share that with you, the viewer. We'll have more content very, very soon, but I thought this would be a interesting tidbit of information where you can see exactly where some of these systems are being produced. And we'll cover more very, very soon. Thank you for joining us today. Have a good day.